the collector. Alright, sorry if I'm not talking really loud. It's kind of late at night. I'm gonna shop here. I end up getting some new stuff, and I didn't want to wait till tomorrow to do it. So I end up getting this here. Let's see, it's a brass, there you go. It's a brass bumper mount for the front. It says here on the package for an SCX-10 from RC4 wheel drive. It's 110 grams, but it did say that it would absolutely work for this. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put it right here. So I don't have the, I'm gonna end up doing the, obviously, Servo winch, but I don't have the servo yet. That has not showed up. So unfortunately I can only put, right now, we're just gonna put this part on. But I wanted to kind of briefly explain, in the last video I'd mentioned I'd reversed the bumpers. That was wrong. The bumpers in the same place they're supposed to be. I reversed and flipped the bumper mounts. So this mount here is actually the mount that goes in the back, and then vice versa. So we're gonna leave the back end the way it is, because it leaves my bumper up kind of high, and then we'll see where this is going to take me here. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, and should be pretty simple. Yeah, I know that these are, because of the means reversing, these are upside down, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and just pull it out from the side, and the whole thing will come out. It'll be pretty easy. So this is, the beginning of our, we're going to start upgrading and modding these things. And yeah, we have done a little bit to them as far as, I guess you can say, for mods. But for the most part, we haven't, they're pretty much stock. I mean, you have the same stock ESC, same motor, you have the same sensor right now. I do have a Fly Sky. Show you here, brand new. I have tested it, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to do the LiPo mod to it because, yeah, the 8 battery thing, that ain't going to happen. Because if you don't have one of these Fly Sky things, what happens when that battery gets low, it's around 9 volts or so, maybe a little lower, it starts to beep. And to tell you that it's got a low battery. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It still works. It's just it's a warning. But that beeping never stops until you charge, switch, or whatever your battery. So that's horrible. So if you're running, 8 AA batteries in there, they're not going to last you very long. You get a couple runs out of the thing before you're already hitting that low warning beeping sound, and it's going to drive you insane, and you're spending a fortune on AA batteries. So anyway, you don't want to do that. Again, I still use my magnets, holds my screws. I have a bunch of them, and I just set them somewhere. But usually I keep them down low. But yeah. It's not going to be a long video. I think what we'll do is I think tomorrow, this video will come out. Oh, this is the day before. But the Cuz should have his Hobby Wing X setup that he's going to do. And so we'll do a video with that, including with this. Even though I know a lot of you have probably already done engine motor swaps and ESC swaps. But for those of you that have not, we will do it with you, and we'll do it in front of you in the video. So here you go. This is how it's switched. That's all I did. So I'll end up having to take these out here, which should be easy. Don't worry, I won't sing for you. But hope you guys are liking all the videos. I know I always say that, but we really are curious. I mean, with the way we've grown, you guys kind of already told us, right? And we appreciate all the comments, especially all you guys encouraging us and stuff. That's freaking awesome. Thank you very much for that. All right, so I wish I had a different bumper yet. I really want to do the tubing bumpers. and keep something really simple and sleek. But yeah, and the reason why I had this reverse or set up the way I did, so what I was trying to make it do is use this to my advantage and have it sit a little higher, so that when I did hit things, especially when when you're turn the angle here, when you're dipping down, this, you want, we have the ground here, and I wanted to rub up against the ground instead of just digging right into it. So I hope that was a good example of what I was trying to accomplish out of that. This is the part that I'm replacing. Plastic. I mean, it's well built, but it's plastic. So I'm gonna do something a little better. Like I said, it's 110 grams of weight that I'm applying in the front. I will do the same, something similar in the back. Obviously it won't be as bulky as the front, but this is what I got. You can see here it has it's set up. I know that light's kind of bright there. Set up for the servo winch to go through, well, set up for the winch to go through. So I got a mounting set up here as well, or I should say here. So that way you can actually, I believe, mount the servo directly in there, or your winch directly in there. And then I think it was about $30. I'll find the I'll post a link in it in case you guys are interested. But here's the other for the mounts. So you get screws and other pieces. I think those are stainless pins in there, which would be nice. They don't look as long though. Then you get your little spool here to mount onto your servo. You mount your servo here. You have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, maybe, there you go. A little hole right there. That's where your, excuse me, your wire will go through. I am not going to use this wire. I want something way stronger and sleeker, I think, and a little bit more, what do you call it? Something that's not so, well, this stuff's actually not bad. It is plastic coated, so it makes it a little bit more pliable, but I want more pliable. So fishing line is probably where I'm going to go, or I go with the spider wire or something. But this is what they give you. Not bad. It's usable, So I'm not really sure on what the strength is. And of course you get the little hook, little red hook. So yeah, that's what you get with it. Not bad. I think it was like 30-40 bucks maybe. Like I said, I'll put it in the description for you. But for now, we're just going to do this part. Simple. Hopefully it'll work. And yeah, see what this... Okay. Did I just do that upside down? I think I did. Maybe. Let's look at that again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Absolutely. Pay attention. Okay. Let's see. Now we'll go ahead and see where that puts us there. And of course, I'm not going to put the screws in just yet. Ooh. Definitely a weight increase there. Then, go ahead and set the body on here. Alright. So it puts the bumper back, keeps it up though, and makes it so I don't think I have to transfer or do anything with the body. I could drop it a little bit. But I don't want to have to do that, and it doesn't look like I do. So basically it's just going to put my bumper right back up into where it was, still giving me that same height that I had before. Yeah. So then your servo, I'm a little curious if I'm actually doing this right. I should have probably looked at how it's installed before I actually just went ahead and winged it, right? Go away. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because you wouldn't mount the servo here. So yeah, you'd mount the servo on top, servo sits in the center, spools. The spool sitting here. That's really close. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how this sets up, especially when I get the servo for my winch. I chose the servo winch style instead of the actual just buying a winch, because I wanted a little bit. I just wanted strength, and servos, or I don't know, that you just it's just better. You'll see something new with the Cuz, and his winch style that he went with requires no motor. Excuse me. It actually it's a kind of a bungee system. So if you haven't seen those yet, this thing it's a pretty sleek system for something that's so simple, and I'm pretty impressed by it. So you'll see that in the video as well. And those of you that are on our Facebook group, you've already seen a photo. So that's the rest of you. If you want to, you kind of get sneak peeks. You can enter contests in the future, post the stuff that you're doing, which we'd love to see. You can do that in our Facebook group, and it's called the Collector RC. And I usually put a link in the description so you can join. And usually give about 24 hours sometimes, because it is a private group. So sometimes me or the moderators are not always on top of things like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and put this sucker in here. I think I'm gonna. I'm not really sure yet. I'm just really not sure yet. But I think I may go ahead and use what they provide. Even though I think these are a little. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with the regular Traxxas screws for now, because it's not really upgrading anything. It's the same stuff. They're actually a little shorter. And I think, let's see here. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and stick with these, because, yeah, we're good. They don't poke through. Sorry, it's at the bottom of the, there you go. Do. There. So now I need to grab the other two, which I believe I saved over here. Just making sure they're the same ones. Okay. They're not. Found them. Because originally when I had flipped it over, I couldn't, the way it was set up, because the way these are, You can see these are kind of grooved up. So they wouldn't fit. So I can only fit one screw in them. I'll do this one kind of away from the camera here. So what are you guys doing to stay sane in all this? You should let us know in the comments. We, like I said before, and I think in the last video, normally we have jobs. All three of us have, you know, normal jobs, and normally wouldn't be able to be so 100% into our seat. Well, that is way heavier. That is a dramatic change. Wow. It's only 110 grams, but man. All right. I mean, it looks beautiful. Definitely will say that. So we're looking at a poison spider dip cover down there. Yeah, cool. All right, so that's good. Go ahead and apply the bumper back here. And again, I think I'll go ahead and you can see these are the ones that they put in. Let's see if I can get that. There you go. They give you, these are the ones that you get. And you can see there's, I don't know if you can, pretty big difference there in size. So I'm going to stick with the originals here. They should fit. So far they look like they do. Nice. They're actually kind of loose. They fit a little too nice. All right, let's go ahead and try the other ones. Let's see how they. Oh. Yeah, those are very loose. I'm using my trusty tweezers here. So I'll set those aside for now. And the magnet. Go ahead and pull these guys out. And thanks for, if you're still watching, thanks for to continue. Hopefully I'm not boring you too much. I apologize if I am, and if you have fallen asleep by now, you should well, you just let me keep you asleep, I guess, right? Alright, so let's see what kind of difference this is. Oh, okay, I see. Now I can actually tighten it and just short, okay, without it poking out the bottom. So, okay, so we recommend, then you should go with these, the ones they send you, because they just plain work better. Unless you're using a different, so if you can see, I'm using just an extension piece, but really what this is part of the kit you've seen before. I have, oop. It's really just, that actually gives me the magnet, but so that's how you can tell these are not the metal, the steel, or whatever metals they use that's magnetized. This is not magnetized. So so a little bit of, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but a little bit of rule of thumb. in robotics that we were taught. When you're putting screws, metal screws, into plastic, you use hand tools. You do it by hand. The reason why, well, if you don't know the obvious, is that the over tightening, excuse me again, man, the over tightening of using an electric or a power tool actually can strip or eat into the plastic, and actually, can ruin it. And that's why you use hand tools. They create them for a reason. So if you're doing metal to metal, you can go ahead and use. I still recommend using hand tools, but you can use the electric stuff. And I recommend, if you are going to use electric for your RC cars, use the handheld, tiny, the smaller, low power drills and that kind of stuff. And I know everybody has their own opinions. You can use whatever you want. This is just my advice from what I was learning, getting my degree in robotics. So, and they're able that, and they're more accessible. So they're tinier, they're smaller, better for storage. Nowadays they've come so far in handheld power tools that they make really strong little small ones. You'll see a lot of times what people use, like a power drill with the small thin extensions, which it's again, to each their own. It's just something you got to be careful with if you're doing the metal into plastic, and even doing the smaller, metal into metal. These a lot of this hardware isn't of quality of what you would expect. Like if you're working on a car, it's a real car, full size, full size. It's not the same thing. So just know that if you don't have your own way of doing things. But this is why you'll see that I use hand tools. So, all right, so I think we got that on. We're all screwed in. Everything's good. Go ahead and put the body on. All right, I think we're good. It sits perfectly on there. Nothing's sticking out to the bottoms here, which is good. Let's see. What do you guys think? It's pretty sleek there in the bottom. Yeah, it adds dramatic weight. I'm curious to see how this is going to climb. What kind of advantage I can get. Let's do a little bit of a wide angle here. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sticking with me during that short little thing. And then obviously the next one, probably won't be using this wire, but go ahead and we're gonna install the hook, and then the servo winch, and then we'll go ahead and be able to test that out. And yeah, I also have not the full-on light kits. I just got the mounting kits for the front and the back. I don't know when they'll show up. I probably should look that up and probably track them. It's been a while. And then I have a dual transmission. Eventually they'll be installed in here. And like I said before, I'm pretty much going to stick with the stock ESC and motor for now. And then eventually I'll change that. But I'm also going to end up doing a new body as well eventually. So those are the things to look forward to. What we're going to do, I have two tires. That's why I've got wheel extensions already, waiting for that, and waiting for my new, the two tires I'm going to get for this. And then that's why I cut the body. So that'll be another thing to see as well. And then the Cuz has obviously got quite a few things going on with his, and so we'll be able to put those together. And yeah, kind of like, kind of following the same path as we did with the SX24s, like I mentioned before in the last video. So, we start off driving them like crazy, and then in mostly stock form, we just start doing minor things, and then also in full-blown mods and modifications and upgrades. And then we start testing, and then we give you our opinions on whether they're worth it or not. So, but yeah, all right, guys.